North Carolina is often considered a haunted state, with its rich history, diverse landscapes, and a deep connection to the past. From the misty mountains to the rugged coastline, the state's scenery alone can evoke a sense of mystery. The state has a long history, including Native American heritage, colonial settlements, and Civil War battles. These layers of history create a backdrop for ghost stories and eerie legends that have been passed down through generations. Old, creaky buildings, dense forests, and abandoned structures scattered across North Carolina only add to its haunted atmosphere. The coastal fog and the winding roads through the Appalachians can make the landscape feel otherworldly, especially at night. Now we will visit the most haunted places of North Carolina. Number 1. The Omni Grove Park Inn in Asheville. The Omni Grove Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina, is one of the most famous haunted places in the state. Known for its stunning architecture and luxurious setting, the inn has a history filled with tales of strange occurrences and ghostly sightings, particularly linked to a figure known as the Pink Lady. The story of the Pink Lady dates back to the early 1900s, when a young woman is said to have fallen or been pushed from her room on the 5th floor of the hotel. She plunged down to the palm court below, and ever since, guests and staff have reported seeing her ghost, often described as a gentle, friendly presence. The Pink Lady is usually seen as a misty, pink figure or a woman dressed in a flowing pink gown. Unlike many ghost stories, hers is not one of anger or malice, but rather of sadness and curiosity. Guests have reported feeling a cool breeze, seeing flickering lights, or even receiving a soft, unexplained touch when they least expect it. Over the years, the Pink Lady has become a sort of unofficial mascot for the hotel. There are countless reports of her interacting with both guests and staff, especially children, who often describe seeing a beautiful lady in pink who wants to play or watch over them. Some guests have also reported waking up to find her sitting on their bed or watching from a corner of the room before fading away. Other strange occurrences at the Omni Grove Park Inn include objects moving on their own, doors opening and closing without explanation, and sudden temperature drops in certain areas of the hotel. The eerie happenings are particularly concentrated on the 5th floor, where the Pink Lady supposedly fell. Some people have also experienced strange electrical disturbances, such as flickering lights or televisions turning on and off without anyone touching them. While these stories are mysterious, they're typically described as playful or harmless, rather than threatening. The hotel itself, built in 1913, adds to the eerie atmosphere. With its grand, old-fashioned architecture, the Omni Grove Park Inn exudes a sense of history. Large stone fireplaces, dim lighting, and an expansive lobby create a timeless, somewhat eerie vibe, especially at night. Guests walking through its hallways often mention how easy it is to imagine that the hotel is still alive with the energy of those who've stayed there over the past century. Besides the Pink Lady, the hotel's long and storied past has contributed to its haunted reputation. During World War II, the hotel served as a safe haven for diplomats and even a secret government facility. Some believe that the spirits of those who stayed or worked there during that time still linger, adding to the paranormal activity reported at the inn. Even with all the ghostly stories, the Omni Grove Park Inn remains a beloved destination, attracting visitors from all over the world. Many come hoping to encounter the Pink Lady or simply to experience the hotel's historic charm. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the inn's haunted reputation adds an extra layer of intrigue to an already magical location. So, if you ever find yourself staying there, especially on the 5th floor, don't be surprised if you feel a chill in the air or catch a glimpse of something pink floating just out of the corner of your eye. Number 2. The Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. The Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, located on the outermost edge of North Carolina's Outer Banks, is a towering structure with a height of nearly 200 feet. Its black and white spiraling stripes are iconic, standing as a sentinel over the treacherous seas that have claimed countless ships. Known for guiding sailors safely around the dangerous Diamond Shoals, this lighthouse has a history steeped in mystery, peril, and, according to some, supernatural occurrences. Many consider the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse to be haunted. It stands on a remote, storm-battered shoreline, and the eerie atmosphere often leaves visitors with an unsettling feeling. The howling winds, the roar of the ocean, and the thick fog that frequently blankets the area all contribute to its reputation as a ghostly place. Over the years, there have been reports of strange happenings and ghostly apparitions, creating a rich lore of hauntings. One of the most famous stories tied to the lighthouse involves the many shipwrecks that occurred along the coast. The waters around Cape Hatteras were once known as the graveyard of the Atlantic because of the many vessels that met their end on the shifting sandbars of the Diamond Shoals. Sailors who lost their lives in these wrecks are said to haunt the shoreline, their spirits still searching for their lost ships. Visitors to the area have reported hearing the faint sounds of moaning or whispers carried by the wind. Some have even claimed to see shadowy figures moving along the beach late at night, dressed in old-time sailor attire. Another story that haunts the Cape Hatteras lighthouse is that of the Phantom Lightkeeper. Legend says that many years ago, a lighthouse keeper died tragically while working in the tower. His dedication to his duty was so strong that even in death, his spirit could not leave the lighthouse. Some visitors and staff have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a man in an old-fashioned uniform walking the staircase of the lighthouse at night. Others say they've seen him tending to the light, making sure it continues to shine, as if his soul remains tied to his eternal responsibility. There are also accounts of the heavy iron door to the lighthouse opening and closing on its own, without any logical explanation. Some say they've heard the sound of footsteps echoing up the spiral staircase when no one else was in the tower. The keeper's ghost is said to be friendly, more concerned with watching over the lighthouse than scaring people away, but his presence is nonetheless unsettling. Cape Hatteras itself is known for its dangerous and unpredictable weather. The area has seen numerous hurricanes and violent storms, adding to the treacherous nature of the place. Some of the lighthouse's ghost stories involve mysterious disappearances. There are legends of fishermen and sailors who ventured too close to the Diamond Shoals, never to return. These lost souls are thought to be pulled into the depths by vengeful spirits from the many shipwrecks. People also talk about strange occurrences involving the locals. There are stories of fishermen who disappeared without a trace while visiting the lighthouse at night, only to be found washed ashore days later with no clear cause of death. Some believe that the restless spirits of the sea have claimed them as retribution for the centuries of lives lost to the treacherous waters. In 1999, Cape Hatteras Lighthouse was moved from its original location due to the encroaching ocean, a massive engineering feat that saw the entire structure relocated over 2,900 feet inland. During the move, some workers reported hearing strange noises, as if the ghosts of the lighthouse were protest the disturbance. Lights flickered, tools went missing, and several workers claimed to feel an eerie presence. Many locals believe that the spirits who have long inhabited the lighthouse were unsettled by this move, and that their restless energy only grew stronger. While there is no concrete evidence of hauntings at Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, the stories persist. The desolate location, the tragic history of shipwrecks, and the enduring legends of phantom sailors and lightkeepers all contribute to its reputation as a haunted place. Number 3. The Duke Mansion. The Duke Mansion, located in the heart of Charlotte, North Carolina, is a grand southern estate with a rich history and a reputation for being one of the most haunted places in the state. Built in 1915, this sprawling mansion is surrounded by lush gardens, towering oak trees, and a picturesque landscape. While it now operates as a luxurious inn and event venue, its past is filled with stories of paranormal activity, ghostly encounters, and lingering spirits. The Duke Mansion was named after one of its most famous residents, James Buchanan Duke, an industrialist and philanthropist who made his fortune in tobacco, energy, and banking. Duke bought the house in the early 20th century and expanded it significantly, turning it into the 32,000 square foot mansion it is today. Duke's influence was vast, and he played a key role in shaping the economic and social landscape of North Carolina. But the history of the mansion goes beyond Duke's legacy. Before Duke's ownership, the property passed through various hands, each adding their own stories to the house's lore. Over the years, it has been the site of joyous celebrations, family tragedies, and mysterious happenings. Some believe that the mansion's rich and sometimes sorrowful history has left a lasting impression on the houses, with spirits from its past still making their presence known today. The most famous ghost said to haunt the Duke Mansion is none other than James Buchanan Duke himself. Many believe that Duke's spirit never truly left the mansion, and that he continues to watch over the property he so dearly loved. Guests and staff have reported seeing a figure resembling Duke walking through the halls, dressed in an old-fashioned suit. His apparition is often spotted in areas of the mansion that were once his private quarters, as if he is still surveying his grand home. Duke's ghost is said to be a calm and somewhat protective presence, but that doesn't mean his appearances aren't unsettling. There have been numerous reports of lights flickering, doors opening and closing by themselves, and strange cold spots in rooms that were once part of Duke's private wing. Some guests have even claimed to feel a hand gently rest on their shoulder, only to turn around and find no one there. Many believe this is Duke's way of making sure everything is in order. Another commonly reported spirit at the Duke mansion is the ghost of a woman in white. This spectral figure has been seen gliding through the mansion's gardens and hallways, often late at night. Her identity remains a mystery, though some speculate she could be the ghost of a former resident or guest who passed away under tragic circumstances. The woman in white is often described as being peaceful, but her appearances are eerie. Guests have reported seeing her standing at windows, looking out as if waiting for someone to return, or walking silently through the house before vanishing into thin air. Aside from the ghostly apparitions, many visitors and staff members have reported hearing phantom footsteps in the mansion. These footsteps are often heard on the grand staircase, which was a central part of the house during its early days. Some say they hear heavy boots stomping down the stairs, while others describe light, hurried steps as if someone is running late for an important event. In addition to the footsteps, guests have reported strange sounds coming from empty rooms. These sounds include the faint murmur of voices, the clinking of glasses, and even music playing from a time long past. Some believe these noises are echoes of the many lavish parties that were once held at the mansion, where the elite of North Carolina would gather for celebrations. Others think that these sounds are residual energy left behind by those who lived and worked in the house over the decades. The Duke Mansion now serves as an inn, and guests staying overnight have reported several paranormal experiences in their rooms. Some have woken up to find furniture slightly moved or items in the room misplaced. A few guests have even described feeling as though they were being watched while they slept, with the sensation of a presence in the room. These experiences have led many to believe that the spirits of former residents still roam the mansion, making their presence felt in subtle, sometimes unnerving ways. Number 4. The Biltmore Estate in Asheville. The Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina, is known for its grandeur, stunning architecture, and sprawling gardens, but it also has a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the United States. Built between 1889 and 1895 by George Washington Vanderbilt II, the Biltmore is the largest privately owned home in America, with 250 rooms, including 35 bedrooms, 43 bathrooms, and 65 fireplaces. While it is celebrated as a symbol of the Gilded Age, many visitors and staff believe that its historic walls are home to more than just memories. They say ghosts also roam the mansion. The Biltmore was designed by architect Richard Morris Hunt and is set on 8,000 acres of land. George Vanderbilt envisioned the estate as a retreat where he could entertain guests and spend time with his family. He lived there with his wife, Edith, and their daughter, Cornelia. Vanderbilt was a patron of the arts and literature, and the estate boasts an impressive library of over 22,000 volumes. Sadly, George Vanderbilt passed away in 1914 at the age of 51 due to complications from surgery, leaving behind a legacy tied to one of the most iconic homes in America. Over the years, the Biltmore has become a major tourist attraction, but along with its beauty and historical significance, it has developed a reputation for being haunted. Many believe that the spirits of the Vanderbilt family and former staff continue to linger in the halls, unwilling or unable to leave the magnificent estate behind. One of the most frequently reported hauntings at the Biltmore Estate is the ghost of George Vanderbilt himself. Guests and staff have reported sensing his presence in several areas of the mansion, particularly in his favorite room, the library. Vanderbilt was a book lover, and the library was his sanctuary, where he spent many hours reading and contemplating. Visitors have claimed to feel a strange presence in the library, often accompanied by a sudden drop in temperature or the feeling of being watched. Some say they have even seen Vanderbilt's ghost, described as a shadowy figure lingering near the shelves. Edith Vanderbilt, George's wife, is also said to haunt the estate. Her presence is often felt in the pool area, one of the mansion's more curious haunted spots. The Biltmore has an indoor swimming pool that, while no longer in use, has seen its fair share of paranormal activity. People have reported hearing the sounds of laughter and splashing, as if a party were still going on in the otherwise empty room. It is believed that Edith and other guests enjoyed the pool during the estate's heyday, and some say her spirit continues to revisit the area. Beyond the pool, Edith's voice has also been heard calling out to her husband, particularly in the library. According to some reports, she can be heard softly saying "George" late at night, as if she's still searching for him. The Biltmore Estate was known for hosting extravagant parties during George Vanderbilt's life, and it seems that some of the guests have never left. Visitors have reported seeing phantom figures dressed in elegant clothing, walking through the halls or standing at windows, as if still attending one of the grand events of the past. These apparitions are often described as being so realistic that some guests initially mistake them for actors or staff members in period costume, only to have them vanish without a trace. In addition to the ghostly guests, former staff members of the estate are also believed to haunt the grounds. Staff quarters and servants' passages are said to be particularly active, with reports of footsteps echoing in empty hallways and doors opening or closing on their own. Some claim to have seen the ghost of a maid or butler, still performing their duties long after their passing. The basement of the Biltmore Estate is another area that has given rise to numerous ghost stories. It contains several rooms, including the aforementioned swimming pool, a bowling alley, and various servant quarters. Many people have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread or unease in this part of the mansion. In some cases, visitors have described feeling as though they were being followed or watched by an unseen presence. Strange occurrences, such as flickering lights, unexplained cold spots, and the feeling of being touched by invisible hands, are common in the basement. Some paranormal investigators believe that the energy from the past, perhaps the vibrant social life and the emotional intensity of those who lived and worked there, has left a lasting imprint on the building. Number 5. Lydia's Bridge, Greensboro. Lydia's Bridge is a small, eerie underpass on US 70, formerly Old US 421, near Greensboro, North Carolina, known for its chilling ghost stories. It's one of the most haunted places in the area, and the main legend surrounding it is the story of a young ghostly woman named Lydia. The legend of Lydia begins in the 1920s or 1930s when a young woman was said to have been in a car accident near the bridge. The story goes that Lydia was on her way home from a dance with her date when their car crashed on a rainy night. Some versions say the car slid off the road, while others mention a collision. Sadly, Lydia died on the spot. Soon after the accident, drivers started reporting strange sightings near the bridge. They claimed to have seen a young woman in a white dress, standing by the roadside, looking lost and frightened. These drivers would stop and offer her a ride, and she would explain that she was trying to get home to High Point, a nearby town. They would drive her towards her destination, but when they reached her house or the area close to it, she would suddenly vanish from the car. Many drivers have claimed to pick up Lydia. They all describe her as a pale, young woman wearing a white dress, who seems quiet and distressed. After she disappears, they often go to the house she asked to be taken to, only to be told by the homeowner that Lydia had died years ago in a car accident near the bridge. This ghostly hitchhiker story has been passed down for generations, with slight variations, but always the same tragic theme: Lydia trying to find her way home. Lydia's Bridge has become a place of fascination for ghost hunters and those curious about the paranormal. While the old bridge is no longer in use, people still visit the area, hoping to catch a glimpse of Lydia's ghost or experience something supernatural. Some even claim to feel a cold chill or see ghostly figures near the bridge at night. However, no matter how many years pass, Lydia's story seems to stay alive, continuing to frighten and intrigue anyone who hears it.